Good evening, brother Fahad.
Evening, Chambers.
We're welcoming our special guest, Cordell, Manchester United fan, to this week's football roundup. So, anyway, we'll start off with United rather than Arsenal. So, what's your take on this week's Arsenal?
United.
Sorry, United.
I don't even know where to start because, to be honest, as a team, they was poor.
Mm-hmm. Go on, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, as a team, they were poor, but overall, I think you can see the disconnect in between the team and the management, which is now starting to show on the pitch, and it's only going to keep getting worse and worse. I think it's not going to get any better, and it's either certain players have to go, which I can't really see going because some of them have only just signed and they can't just keep selling players after like a season or half a season if it's not working.
Yeah.
And in all fairness, David Moyes came in, got only a year or just under a year and got sacked. Van Gaal got 2 years in an FA Cup and got sacked when I thought they was just slowly maybe starting to progress a little bit, especially with the youth, and Mourinho's now in his third year and they seem to be going more further back than ever. So this result, there's a guy in my works, to be honest, who's a West Ham fan. He's an executive chef who's come in and we was talking and he was like, oh, I don't feel too confident about the result, and I said, neither do I. And as we could see, my proof was in the pudding. Like how I felt, it showed in the game. So,
would you say, so obviously from what you're saying, a lot of the problem you think have come from the overall system, the way they've appointed managers or not giving the managers enough time. Would you say that is a problem, or would you say it's the players, the manager, the board, everybody? Who would you say, where would you say the blame lies?
Well, it starts from the top and then ends at the bottom, and I think from the very beginning the board has made wrong decisions and hasty decisions, which has never been the way Man United has been, and as you can see over the course of the years, it's just been a turmoil. And from the management to the players, like in reality, when you look at Mourinho, I would say he's like a glorified Van Gaal.
Okay.
In like his style of football is no different.
He ran under his wing, didn't he? For a few years,
his style of football is no different. It was just more modern to what Van Gaal's football was of now. And the only reason why Van Gaal got appointed was because we had a overrated Van Persie who had a good World Cup, and Van Gaal had a good World Cup, and it was like, oh well, we'll take him on. Rather than if that was me personally, I would have either went for Ryan Giggs or someone like Mark Hughes.
What? Ryan Giggs?
Why not?
Ryan Giggs? You can't make a Arteta.
What do you on about? That's like saying Barcelona taking Pep Guardiola.
Well, Ryan Giggs would not have took you nowhere.
But no, but I would rather have Ryan Giggs, right, and have a problem and have him fail, trying to do try and do the way Man United trying to do the correct way, than to turn around and go down the complete different path, which is now sending us down a path which is going to take us about 10-15 years to get back.
Players respect him as a player. They won't respect him as a gaffer.
Of course they will.
And that's the risk they're taking.
No, but tell me why there's any difference between Ryan Giggs and Pep Guardiola.
Ryan Giggs, no, but before when you win titles.
Tell me the difference. When Ryan Giggs retired as Man United's manager and then became a coach for a year and a bit, because he was coach, he retired under David Moyes and then became a coach.
The difference was, though, they had Cruyff who had implemented a plan for Rijkaard and any manager who come in would take him far. That was the difference. Yeah, but
then they have Alex Ferguson.
Yeah, Alex Ferguson was...
So wasn't he there for 12, 13 years?
But Ryan Giggs was too selfish. He didn't take his coaching advice when Fergie was there. How many times Fergie said, be a manager? How do you know we don't know?
That's selfish. No, but you've got to... There is a difference in system, because in the Barcelonas and them, they've got people in charge directly.
Cruyff saved the nation of football.
Excuse me a minute. They have directors of football and stuff. Whereas Manchester United...
No, well, this is what I mean.
So if you bring in Ryan Giggs in, it doesn't necessarily mean he would have had the support.
No, of course. But I would have rathered him than to turn around and bring in someone like David Moyes, who you're thinking... I understood the idea, but I would have rathered someone you either go for Pep Guardiola straight away because they had the opportunity to go for him then.
Yeah,
Before they could have went for him twice. They could have went for him when Alex Ferguson retired. Do you know what I mean? And even said we'll get someone in part time until he comes out of his sabbatical and decides to come with us or things after Bayern Munich. They didn't go. We then went for after they sacked Moyes after a season, they gave Giggs a little bit, which he wasn't doing such a bad job. The kids, the people there was respecting him.
Do you know what? I looked at Ryan Giggs. I will learn
and then it's the same. People can turn around and what's it called? It's the same as it's the same as like Mark Hughes. It's like if you're gonna go for David Moyes, why are you not gonna go for someone who's got enough experience?
Your club's a big club though. Do you think Ryan Giggs can handle the heat of Man United? Even though we played there for years, it's different being a player than managing a club. He's responsible for the fans on his case. But everyone in his case, I don't think Ryan Giggs will handle it. Let's see what he does for Wales. They're Man United. Man United's a big job.
To me, that's not the point.
You're not a big club like you used to be, so maybe now is a good time for him to come in.
No, it's not. Even as a big club. Because
you're relegated.
Otherwise, right? So why would you go for David Moyes?
Mourinho's doing a good job.
No.
Right.
Sorry,
yeah, as an Arsenal fan, I don't expect...
22 years of hurt.
I don't expect
22 years.
The
22 years. Of more downs and up. You guys are having 3 minutes of it. And you're Mourinho. What always Arsenal fans? 14 years of pain.
It don't bother me because like at the end of the day, right?
14 years is a long time.
No, but that's a Premier League. We haven't gone through that yet. We're still not there. We're still not there. For Premier League wise as what's called, we're still not there. We're only like 4-5 years at the most, six maybe. So it's not even like it's like this is what sometimes, like, no disrespect to like to most fans, that's what most people tend to forget. Other than Chelsea, Leicester and Man City winning the Premier League over the last 10 years, it's been Man United. They've won it in the last 10 years, and don't get me wrong, we can go back in what's it called. I don't care about the past. I care about the present.
Can I just, because obviously past history has shown that teams who've been successful for a long time have then had many years of failure or struggles after that. So would you say, going off what you're saying, that you've got quite a long way of struggles before you reach the highs of previous?
Because of the way the board has structured the club to go in the direction they've gone in since Alex Ferguson retired, yeah, because they look like a Liverpool, they look like an Arsenal, and I'm not even saying an Arsenal, because Arsenal kind of Tottenham's coming more like an Arsenal, if I'm honest. Do you know what I mean?
They're homeless.
No, but they're coming more like an Arsenal because they're gonna they're going for a new state, going for redoing their stadium, and what's it called?
Yeah, that's
so like. But whereas Man United, for where they had that longevity of success, and where that dramatic change, the same like Liverpool had, it's like rather than keep on doing what you do, and this is what I think what Arsenal should do is still keep kind of the philosophy of Arsene Wenger, but you add to it. Do you know what I mean? This is what Barcelona has done over the last 4 or 5 years.
I'm going to bring Fahad in this. Would you say that Arsenal should keep the philosophy of Wenger?
No. And
why? Go on,
Because would you agree with the new manager currently keeping the philosophy of Mourinho?
No, but...
That's 3 years, so what about 22 years of that?
No, but I'm not talking about the whole philosophy. I'm on about the reality of the real style of football. The real style of football, the real style of football of Arsenal, right, should be kept. So that real style of Arsenal.
They do play good football. They still play good football.
No, I'm not saying they don't, but that still comes from the board of the way these guys are taught.
So Wenger going forward was defensively.
Okay, the question I've got to put to you both then is obviously when Arsenal was at their most success, they weren't playing a type of football Cordell is advocating. So there's either you play the pass in the ball and be unsuccessful, or you play the way we used to play with strong, solid players who were quick on the attack, which was more successful. So which philosophy would you prefer with United? You with Arsenal. So I put that to you first on Arsenal. What system would you prefer? The old system with Thierry Henry and Vieira?
The old system all do.
So why would you prefer that? What's the reason behind it then compared
to? He inherited a strong defence. Who knew the meaning of playing for the badge.
Yeah.
That's the truth about it. Some of the players they come and they don't pay for the badge. They just pay for themselves.
Well, that's like Sanchez now, isn't it? He's
But Sanchez, you know what, bro? The guy's an idiot. He should never have left Arsenal.
No, but this is what I'm saying.
Right. The guy was too worried about his dogs.
No, but this is what I'm saying. When you're getting offered 500...
Bigger gardens in Manchester.
No, when you're in reality...
Bigger gardens in Manchester. That's
when you really want
bigger gardens in Manchester.
When you really want to go to Manchester City and then Man United comes in and says, no, we'll give you 500 grand and we'll give you Mkhitaryan. It's like, I'll take that all day long. I don't even have to do anything. So that shows, so this is what I'm saying. Arsenal don't need players like that because their heart ain't really in it. Do you know what I mean? They might seem like it.
But he didn't even make the squad.
And then when it turns around,
for you.
exactly. And then when it turns around and then comes to other clubs, they still ain't really
Yo,
got the heart because the more money that they're getting, Mike, for doing fuck all, pardon my language, the better that it. Beep. To get it, the better it kind of for them. The better it is as far as life, but not as far as football.
But Arsenal fans knew Sanchez was top on the field, but as a team player and as a behind the scenes, he was an head case. That's why Arsenal sold him. But now Mourinho's having him. And I told him, you watch the reason why Arsenal did not sell him for the reason of his talent. He's a head case.
Let me tell you something.
He's not even in the squad.
Look, let me tell you something about Mourinho. Mourinho signs players. If you look at it, right?
Pogba.
Forget Pogba. We signed... Man City wanted to sign... What's his name? Mkhitaryan. We signed him. They end up getting Gundogan. Whatever his name is. Better than fucking Mkhitaryan. Pardon my language again, because this kills me. They wanted to sign Sanchez. We signed him. It's like he does it just to try and hurt them, while at the same time just making more problems.
They would have gone mad.
They wanted Fred.
So on that point then, would you say the signings he's bringing fits in with the Manchester United system, the Manchester United way?
I'm not saying some of them don't, but it's and do you know the maddest thing? It's not just his style, because that's where also the players on the pitch have to turn around. You can't always do what the manager tells you to do. I don't give a damn what anyone says, because it's you guys that's on the pitch. It's not the manager. Do you know what I mean? If you want to win the game, you got to put into it. Do you know what I mean? You can't turn around and blame the manager and say, well, I wasn't allowed to go forward. Forget that. Do you know what I mean? If you want to win the game or you do not want to lose a game, you got to put in as much as possible.
What happens if they do that and the name's on the team sheet the week after?
Well, then, that's how it
exactly.
goes.
So it's a situation the players can't win because Mourinho's that stubborn. Mourinho fought. How many players did he fell out with?
Look,
and he doesn't. Come on, he even invited the press to watch him and Pogba argue. Because he's clever. So look, I feel sorry for me. Feel sorry for you. You're too much money.
This is why I say, right. The maddest thing here, if no one didn't see it and only I seen it, right, for as dead as the football Van Gaal was playing, the Man United's passing was much better than it was now, much better, and they was actually bringing kids through. And do you know Manchester United, that was their way.
And it was.
No, do you know in that last year when they won the FA Cup, Marcus Rashford, Jesse Lingard, Timothy Fosu-Mensah, Alex Tunasby, whatever his name is. You could say Martial, Bothwick Jackson, Cameron Bothwick Jackson. You had all these young kids coming through, and they was all doing well. And with the experience of some of the other guys, and then all you had to do is start tweaking, get some quality and some experience with the quality, like the proper quality, not just turning around and buying, we'll get this guy, we'll grab this guy, we'll spend 100 million here, we'll do this there, do you know what I mean? And
is he worth 90 million, Lukaku, or 70 million?
In this day market, you can't say no. I'm not saying he is, because then that's like saying, is Lacazette worth 60?
You're damn right he is.
Now he is.
Damn right he is.
But Lacazette, in his first season, he was actually playing well until Wenger started playing, took the confidence out of him by dropping him and not playing him right. And I can see some similarities between how Mourinho is with some of the players. Remember how Rashford was playing under Van Gaal, comparing him to how he is now. Martial. There's all of these players. So for me, I honestly believe that I see Manchester United go backwards.
I have.
So would you actually prefer to have kept Van Gaal?
I would.
then yeah.
I would have.
Yeah.
I swear. No, and that's look. Even after the first year when Mourinho came in, it seemed like it was all okay in it. They finished what 6th or 5th, won the Europa League and the League Cup. So it kind of
Papered over the cracks.
yeah glossed everything over. So it wasn't so bad, innit? Because they're still winning trophies again. But where did Bothwick Jackson go? Where did all those young players go? And we signed Pogba, who had a indifferent season and he was injured quite a bit. And who else did they sign, man? Who? Zlatan, he was good, but then he got injured, and it was just never the same. And then after that, it was like the pressure was. It was like Man City went and spent, what was it, 250 million?
Brother, listen, I'm gonna say this to you from the bottom of my heart, alright?
Go on.
Can look forward to the Nicholas Bentners of this world. Because United fans, that's what's coming. Nicholas Bentner, strikers like that. Look forward to it. And Tottenham.
Fahad.
Nicholas Bentner. Scalacci.
We are not in Arsenal's league, bro. We are still above Arsenal. Because Arsenal are. Listen, I do not give a damn. Listen, you can cherish the moments as much as you can.
No,
as an Arsenal fan, listen to me.
It's okay.
Growing
It's okay.
up
I
in
feel
London
you.
with a bunch of Arsenal fans
It's
my
alright.
whole life.
We had 22 years, 12 years, 14 years.
Listen,
You guys can't handle it no more.
Fahad,
It's
you
alright.
have to win the league first, you fool. Win the league and then you can
When
turn
Sir
around and
left,
get in this
listen, when Alex
conversation.
Ferguson left, the man, Sir Alex Ferguson, when he left, the reality came in. David Moyes, Van Gaal, and now you got Jose Mourinho. Mourinho, look, you were saying, Mourinho.
No, Fahad, look, this is the mad thing. Look, I've
Mourinho.
been a Man United fan, right, since I was my son's age, my youngest boy.
Yeah.
Right, and they'd only won. They just.
I can't help you by
listen,
that.
No, trust me. Listen,
I can't help you
but
by being a
listen.
Man United fan.
They won the
That was your
Rumble.
choice.
Check this, Mike. Right, they won the Rumble. They just won the Rumbelows Cup, right, against Nottingham Forest. I didn't even know who the hell they was. I thought whoever wins, that's what I'm supporting. Otherwise, I could have been supporting Nottingham Forest. Man United won.
Are you happy
And
you made the decision you made?
Of course I am.
Okay.
And do you know the maddest thing, right? Do you know growing up as a kid, do you know what every adult used to say to me when I used to be like cheering and what's it called? Everyone, Tottenham fans. My stepdad's a Tottenham fan. My dad's a Liverpool fan. Most of my friends are Arsenal fans. So I grew up around a bunch of non-Man United fans. My uncles are Chelsea fans. So it's like I grew around everyone that nobody was winning. It was only winning maybe FA Cups and League Cups here and there. Man United was winning all the trophies. You know what everyone should say to me? Wait until Alex Ferguson goes. Wait until Alex Ferguson goes. I've been waiting for it. So when it came, I actually seen what happened. Because it's the same thing that happened with Liverpool. And like I said, if they didn't go down the right road, and I'm telling you, the way of the road was you think's not people like Ryan Giggs. And like, how can you not have somebody that has been at the highest level not being able to try and have that success at that other highest level with the backing
I feel like
of
you
other
should
people.
understand. He's
But-
not loyal.
What? Because he wasn't. Don't.
He's not loyal, right? What about all the players' wives? They come in as a backdrop. You be on Jeremy Kyle. This
Listen,
is the first club to be on Jeremy Kyle.
Listen.
Come on, bro. You can't have Ryan Giggs there.
Listen, I do not care.
The players be like
Listen,
that. Hey, do you know Ryan Giggs? You know, come on, bro.
that's like saying, right? Yeah. See, like, look, it's like Liverpool now. Someone like
Let's talk about
Steven.
Liverpool now,
No,
yeah.
it's like someone like Steven Gerrard now, right? They sent him. It's like Ryan Giggs is going down the right path because in a few years, if he does succeed in Wales, I expect him to come to Manchester United. It's like the same as Steven Gerrard. What do you think they ain't? Do you think they're not priming him to be the successor
Of
to
course he
Jurgen
is.
Klopp?
Of course he is.
If he can
Yeah, but he took his badges as a player when he was coming off, and he was.
No.
He done them for years.
What are you on about? Giggs was there from time. Him, Gary Neville, Ferguson had them
Alright,
all.
alright.
All them little boys there.
You're talking about, what about Carrick now? You see Carrick? He's on the right way. He's number 2 under Mourinho. Ryan Giggs was never number 2 under Alex Ferguson. Was he?
Ryan Giggs.
Yeah,
He
was he
still a
not?
player?
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, Carrick,
No, because
he
that's
could have
the-
turned around and
no,
said, you know, I want to be the
right.
next manager, let me start now.
That's
But the guy
because
went on
Fahad-
too old. He had his
Fahad,
bus pass and he was so
Fahad,
good now.
This guy was 40, still scoring goals, bro. Because Ferguson
Once in
still
a
had
blue
him
moon.
as a soldier. No, because that's because he had a
Important
soldier.
goals.
And this is what I'm saying.
But
that
his goal-
soldier should have been able to transition from a soldier into a general.
But it never happened.
No, because he wasn't given the opportunity.
You never know, we never know. You can't
Do you know what I
say
mean?
that.
That's what, no, but this is
He
what I'm
was too
saying.
much of a
I
playboy.
would, no, but I would rather him
Playboy.
fail with them than to him fail somewhere else and then to turn around and all the excuses. Or even if he would have failed, it wouldn't have been no harm in him. I'm telling you, wouldn't have been no harm on it.
So
he still could have went to Wales and managed Wales, guaranteed.
So you're going on about Giggsy coming through the Manchester United way. What is the Manchester United way? What is your identity?
Because I see you now, you're parking the bus.
I'm not even what's it called in. I can't disagree. I can't disagree with none of it.
So let's talk about the team now. Let's talk about Liverpool. Would you think Liverpool can challenge for the title this year now?
I do. And do you know, to be craziest thing, that draw for them yesterday was a massive point. Because you know, to me, every time I see a team that keep winning and not losing, always reminds me of that undefeated season Arsenal went with. When, you know, like, they could be losing right to the end, and they'd end up drawing, and you think,
that's quality.
You know what I mean? And it's like, they have, like I say, when you look in this Premier League now, Liverpool has the hunger to want to win it. Man City has the experience. I think at the moment they're lacking in a bit of the hunger. If they can get past Christmas, they'll be up there. They'll be in it. Chelsea, they got the experience and the hunger as well. You can see it in them. So it's like, to me, it's between them three. Tottenham's not in it. Arsenal's not in it. But Liverpool...
What do you mean Arsenal's not in it? Speak for your own team, mate. We got a good chance.
Didn't you hear me not even in? You didn't hear me say Man United.
Yeah, you lost. We got outclassed by West Ham yesterday. So don't even speak about Arsenal, mate. Arsenal there, mate. We got a margin every week. We're playing bad, but we're getting results. We're getting results, mate.
Yeah,
we are getting results. Regardless how we're playing, we're getting results. And the thing, we're not lost.
So,
no, that's because he just lost his way. Who? And he wasn't getting the backing.
Lost his way? He lost 14 years away, mate.
Yeah, because he wasn't getting the backing back then, Fahad.
No, he
wasn't getting the backing.
But Liverpool...
When he sold Thierry Henry and Patrick Vieira and Emmanuel Petit, right? Who did he replace with?
Nicholas Bentner.
Well, exactly. Who's in charge of that? Who's in charge?
Well, it's Wenger, obviously.
It's not Wenger.
Right, so to bring you back onto something you said earlier. Sorry. You actually said about Wenger's philosophy and to maintain Wenger's philosophy. This is what you said. Would you actually say then that having the people like Benton and people like that is Wenger's philosophy?
No, but you know, in a sense, with him, Benton came from the youth, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
He came from the youth.
Yeah.
If he came from the youth, right? Man City, do you know what they said recently? What Pep Guardiola said?
What's he saying?
They're looking over. They've spent loads of money recently to cut back on spending to now develop in the youth, to bring the youth through more as well.
Yeah.
Along with, and this is what everyone's plan is near enough. Not everyone, but like some of them. Which Arsenal, because Arsenal at one stage they did They did have, but at one stage they had a good bunch, and then they had a kind of a rubbish bunch. But when they was looking to go into the Emirates because they wanted to compete in it, do you know what I mean? This new thing of having to have a big, massive stadium to compete at the highest level.
It was called the fig dream.
Do you know what I mean? So you move them away from the stadium, and it's like, oh well, then we can't spend any money. Apparently, we can only take money. So we got to sell all our best players and just leave with the dead wood. That's not the managers. But the managers then got to work with what the hell he's got.
According to like the press at the time, they were saying that there was hundreds of millions available for Wenger to spend. So
that's the media.
So going off the press, there's money there. Why wasn't he spending it?
But that's look.
And if you remember his interview, so he was saying that there ain't the right players available. If you're selling all your best players, surely there must be players better than the ones he's replaced them with.
Partially, right? Do you know me? If I'm honest. I felt sorry for Arsene Wenger too.
Oh my god!
I did. No,
I feel sorry for Mourinho.
Not at the end. Because last couple of seasons, I thought good. I'm glad he's gone because it was just too much. But because the board did not provide him with all of the necessaries that he needed.
Arsene Wenger, his time was up. Regardless if the board gave him money or not, they did give him money. He spent wrong.
Okay, do you know what? That's like Mourinho.
Yeah, they give him. He spent wrong. Mourinho did spend wrong.
It's not even just spending wrong. Do you know Mourinho's philosophy of football now? It's dead. It's dead. It's dead. Nobody plays that football no more, Fahad. Nobody. Not even Bournemouth managers and that play football like that. Sean Dyson.
It's dead. Of course it is.
His philosophy is dying.
That's why I like
it.
You
know what I mean? You would.
Anyway, we're gonna have to round up on our own teams. We'll have to go for the other results now. So obviously, we all know that West Ham was beaten by Manchester United.
Arsenal 2-0.
And Arsenal 2-0 over Watford. Would you say that's a significant win?
Arsenal against Watford.
Yeah.
That was it was because Watford has been playing well recently, so they're coming off off a draw to United. So
would you say then that that result with Arsenal says that Arsenal's now turning a corner, because obviously they were struggling to start.
I don't know if they got any big games coming up.
We got Liverpool after the international.
I would say I'll see how they go over the next couple of games, but we'll see. But they do look like and now I think Czech getting injured it might be a plus for them, because it gives Leno that chance to play, and with the style of football that Arsenal want to play, it suits them more to have him rather than Czech, for as good as Czech has been for them. It's just been a shame that they signed him like 3 years too late, like Peter Cech.
So moving on, Everton 3-0 over Fulham. Do you think Fulham's going to be struggling this season, or do you think they've got the strength to?
Do you know what? I think they are. I think they're going to struggle, because they seem to have a good team, but they don't seem to be sort of progressing anywhere. They seem to have spent a lot of money, and they don't seem to be working as much. They might get a result here and there, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Their home games is what's going to count for them this season, if anything.
But because they finished strong, didn't they? If you remember,
in the championship, yeah.
But they've sort of
but and they've signed some very good players. But I just think their style of football, I don't think it's there yet in that Premier League to sustain. Yeah.
So obviously Spurs 2-0 Huddersfield. Do you think Spurs? I'll ask Fahad this one. Brother Moses. Do you think Spurs have actually turned the corner with their 2-0 win over Huddersfield? Obviously, they've won the last 2 games. They've not been.
No, they haven't. No, they haven't.
Right, go on.
They beat United. No offence, United are a big team, and they haven't played no one else, so they haven't turned the corner. When they play Man City and they play Chelsea, then you can judge them then. But Tottenham are bottlers. They're bottlers. They know they are. Their fans know it. They know it deep down. They could talk about a match like Dele Alli, Harry Kane, but they could talk about Harry Kane's a top striker. Do you know what? He's too good to be a Tottenham.
Well, I said it.
He is too good to be a Tottenham.
I said it to you earlier that Tottenham are.
Man City are just awesome.
They're now a glorified.
Man City are just awesome, and Leicester.
I know. Before. I was asked that someone mentioned there was a debate yesterday with a few people on Twitter about Sturridge or Kane. Which one would you prefer? Just, you don't have to tell me why. Just, who would you go for?
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane all day.
Okay.
Well, he scores one wonder goal once every blue moon.
No, I'd go for Harry Kane.
Harry Kane all day. All day.
And the reason why I say that, because
you know he guaranteed goals. He's too good. He's class.
He's a modern day Alan Shearer.
He's class.
Modern day Alan Shearer.
Man City, we sort of covered them, but they won 2-0. They're going to be challenging for the league. Leicester seems to be creeping up the table.
Doing good, Leicester.
2-0 over Newcastle. Newcastle don't.
Well, they're above Man United.
Well, everyone's nearly above Man United. It's alright. I'm not.
Do you think, as I say, Newcastle?
Do you know what I think? Mourinho.
Before the season started, right, midsummer, when all this drama was kicking off with players and when they're not getting the players, my son can verify for me, right? Wow. I would say every other day, I'm waiting till Christmas.
But now?
No, I'm just waiting till Christmas.
Well, Christmas has come early for us.
No, but I'm waiting till Christmas because you know why? Because I'm expecting Mourinho to be sacked by Christmas. I was expecting Mourinho to be the first manager to be sacked.
That's a good call, that is.
Because his attitude throughout the whole summer was disgusting towards the players, I thought, which was a detriment to the team. The board wasn't backing him as well, so you could see like it's like I said, it's just constant. You know what I mean? They was talking on one of the sports channels yesterday about how there's even like things with scouts and stuff like that, because apparently one of our scouts didn't scout that blimmin', what's his name, Diop from West Ham signed or whatever from Toulouse or
Toulouse, yeah. Toulouse.
it's nonsense. So there's pure disconnect everywhere, bro. You can't have that. To have a good running environment, it's got to be from there all the way through. Everyone's got to be running.
Fair
the
dues,
same
though,
way.
We spoke about United enough. Let's get back onto the others. So
Let's
Wolves, Southampton, Wolves.
2-0
Another
win,
result,
Wolves.
2-0 win.
Bolton to
Wolves
Wolves.
a good team.
Where would you say, like, if you say that they're going to finish? Or I put them top 10.
Top
where
10
where
Wolves.
I put them roughly around top 10. Pep
Yeah.
Guardiola said it that like even he didn't even have to say it. You look at their squad. Their squad is
And their manager.
full of champions. They got
Beard, man.
Champions League quality
Man,
players.
James Beard,
So
bro.
they've got players that was adapted for beyond the Championship. Their style of football is beyond the Championship and is suited more for the Premier League than
Than the
some of the
Championship.
other. They're like Bournemouth and stuff. They play good football, you know. And if you play good football and you can
And
defend as well.
And their manager, have you seen his face with the beard? He looks like, I'm shit scared of him. When I watch him after the day, he looks at the players like, if any you miss it.
But things shook him up though last season, didn't it?
Was that?
Neil Warner.
Neil Warnock.
Neil Warnock
Do
shook him up last
you know
season.
what? I've always got a soft spot for good old Neil
Killed me
Warnock.
last season. He had
When
him.
he
He had
told
him.
you.
He had him.
He wasn't got respect for his old age. If Neil Warnock was his old age, he'd be in Ely Cemetery.
Neil, I think
Tell Neil that.
if him and Neil
But
were the
Brazil-
same age, I'd be putting my money on Neil.
No. I would have rather.
I think crazy white man.
Neil takes no messing around. Obviously, we've covered the 1-0 with Chelsea and Liverpool. And then you've got Burnley, Cardiff losing again at home.
I didn't even watch that.
It's 2-1.
He scored.
It's sad really, but it's not actually looking too good for.
Well, do you know? Do you know? If I'm honest, I said it last year, right? I ain't got nothing bad for Cardiff because I always want them to do well, especially now, like living in Cardiff, being technically born in Cardiff. Like I actually kind of feel for
Got a
them,
soft
and
spot
yeah,
for 'em.
and watching when they got promoted the last time and seeing how so many people come out, I'd never witnessed that before in my life. So last year in the Championship, they played the worst football ever. I don't know how they finished where they did. Like through sheer,
Hard work.
yeah,
and graft.
but that football was not gonna get them nowhere, and they did not do nothing really in that transfer market to try to adapt and change. And if they tried to do, I don't know what they did because keeping that, what's his name? That Zahora, whatever his name is, that donkey. I don't know. He's poor.
So we're gonna have to wrap it up. But would you say that Cardiff's gonna stay up or?
They're gone.
They have Spurs next.
They're
No
They-
comment.
I-
No
I-
comment.
listen,
No comment. I'm not
listen.
saying nothing. It's too early.
Look,
It's too early.
Right now, right? No,
But all I know,
listen.
Man United are going to win the league.
No, I know that too. Listen,
What
I
did
have
you
more,
say?
listen, Fahad, you have more chance, right, at the moment of seeing Man United down in that bottom half of the table by Christmas time if Mourinho's still there with Cardiff
Then
than you seeing them at the top.
Why can't all United fans be like Cordell? A realist. Realist.
anyway, it's been a pleasure speaking to you,
Well,
Listen,
listen,
mate,
Mr.
anytime you want to come by, I'm
Mr.
happy enough
Bilal.
for today.
Mr. Moses.
Fahad.